All right. So I am here with Kevin Roessger. Kevin Roessger is the Associate Professor of Adult and Lifelong Learning at the University of Arkansas. Should also add that you served as editor. I'm not sure if you're still doing that as editor of Adult Education Quarterly, and recently awarded the Imogene Oakes Award for Outstanding Research in Adult Education from the American Association for Adult and Continuing Education. And we are thrilled to have you come up to Canada in May for the Adult Centered Education Conference. So thanks again, Kevin, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jonathan.
All right. So I gave the more formal introduction there, but maybe you can just tell our attendees a little bit about yourself, your background, and secondly, how you came into adult education.
Great. Yep. Well, I think the longer I've been in this field, the more I sort of identify or hear a commonality amongst many people who are in this field is that they didn't come into this field on a straight course.
Absolutely.
It was usually some kind of circuitous path that they took, and mine was really similar to that as well. Oh man, almost 25 years ago, I was, just a sort of run-of-the-mill undergraduate student in psychology in Wisconsin.
Hmm.
And I was working to sort of pay my way through college as a tile and stone setter. So
Okay.
I was working days and trying to take as many courses as I could at night, but I was still pretty much sort of your traditional college student, in my early 20s. And after I finished my degree, I quickly realized that I could make a lot more money just staying in the trades than I could getting a job with my degree in psychology.
Right.
So I started my own business and did that for a good number of years until we call them technical colleges in
Hmm.
Wisconsin, but similar to community college, trade schools kind of thing, contacted me and wanted me to teach courses in segmental retaining wall installation, paver installation, tile and stone installation. So I sold my company and just started teaching full time.
Wow.
And I very quickly found that I didn't know much about working with adult learners or teaching adults. So that prompted me to go to grad school for to work toward my master's degree in adult education at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. I was kind of doing that at nights while working, teaching during the day. One thing led to another, and I pursued my PhD and really got my first job as a research professor at Seattle University.
Mhm.
And after 3 years there, moved down to the South in the United States at the University of Arkansas. And that's where I've been ever since. I am now an associate professor of adult and lifelong learning. And I really, my research interests really focus on reflective learning activities with adults, metacognition, so thinking
Mhm.
about our own thinking, and how adults can best incorporate reflective learning and reflective thinking strategies in the classroom.
Right. That's pretty cool. Yeah, just I love hearing those kinds of stories. And I think it's so true what you said there about a winding path, a circuitous path to adult education. But I love hearing those kinds of stories. And with our conference next month, um, I know you mentioned metacognition. Your topic at our conference is going to be on a different topic. You're going to be talking about bias. So,
Mhm.
without giving too much away, what can attendees expect at your session?
Sure. Well, one of the things that I study um, with my graduate students that I have here is how adults can use reflective thinking to identify what we call cognitive biases and heuristics in their thinking. And these are kind of sort of mental shortcuts and predispositions toward making mistakes
Hmm.
that tend to happen a lot in people across cultures. We tend to see in the research that um, people commit these really sort of uniform patterns of mistakes in their thinking, and we call these cognitive biases and heuristics. And they're very hard to identify. Most of us do them all the time,
Yeah.
even those of us who are aware of them and who really try to consciously practice reflective thinking still fall victim to doing them. But one way you can do them less and kind of catch yourself making these kind of mistakes and falling victim to these kind of biases that we're all um, really more or less doing or have influencing our thoughts is to use reflective thinking in your practice.
Hmm.
So my session at the conference is going to be how on some strategies that educators can use to use reflective thinking in what they're doing to identify how these cognitive biases and heuristics are seeping into activities that they do in their everyday practice, like assessment and evaluation and the selection of teaching and learning strategies. Um, all all of those activities that adult educators are really commonly doing um, can be influenced in very subtle ways by cognitive biases and heuristics.
That's great. So, I think that session is going to benefit a lot of our attendees. Very practical, very useful. So, um, yeah, we're looking forward to having you up here. Hopefully the weather is nice and sunny in Coquitlam. So we're looking forward to having Kevin. So Kevin Roessger, again from the University of Arkansas, at our ACE conference, May 18th and 19th. I'm going to say it right now, in sunny Coquitlam. So,
Looking forward to it.
well, yeah, we'll go with that. So can't wait to have you here. And once again, Kevin, thanks for taking the time to speak to us about ACE today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jonathan. It's been a pleasure.
You bet.